here tonight on Halton News. It's Monday, June 8th, and I'm Jessica Kaitting. Taking a look at today's COVID-19 numbers in the Halton region, our total case count has now reached 745. Considering all the recoveries, however, there are far fewer active cases than that now in our region. Breaking it down by municipality, the city of Burlington currently has 16 active cases. Oakville has the highest number at 32, followed by Milton at 31, and Halton Hills currently reporting the lowest number of active cases at 11. Premier Doug Ford was in our region today. MPP Stephen Crawford joined him and Ontario Health Minister Christine Elliott for a tour of Oakville's Canadian hospital specialties. We connected with MPP Crawford for more on that, as well as today's announcements made by the provincial government.
A lot of things happening today. First, I might start out by saying that I had the honor of hosting the Premier here in Oakville this morning, actually. At around 9 o'clock, he visited a company called Canadian Hospital Specialties. They're an Oakville-based company, and they've been very adamant, very much a part of the fight against COVID-19. So they're producing swabs for the tests of COVID. So I had the honor of having the Premier and Minister Elliott here this morning in Oakville. After that, the Premier went and the Minister went back to Queen's Park, and just recently we made a few major announcements. So first of all, number one is we've announced that there's a moratorium and no eviction of commercial tenants from now until August 31st. So that's a few months going forward. There'll be no commercial evictions due to obviously the COVID pandemic. Number two as well, we've also made two changes which will affect the residents of Halton pretty much immediately, starting Friday at midnight. And that is number one, that we've increased the number of people that are able to congregate in a larger setting, of course, still with social distancing, but we've gone from 5 to 10. So that's the first thing we've done. But secondly, I know there's been a lot of people that have had their concerns. They couldn't go to church or their mosque or synagogue. We've now been able to open up churches, mosques, synagogues, places of worship effective Friday at midnight, but they will be it'll be in a new format, basically with a 30% capacity from here until further notice. So a few big things affecting Halton. The other thing we announced today as well down at Queen's Park was that we have moved fully to phase 2 in certain regions of the province. So that'll mean more of an opening up to barber shops, hair salons, and more shops and restaurants actually opening up. But that does not affect Halton. The GTA is excluded from that right now. There's a few other regions, simply because there are more cases of COVID here. But I'm optimistic that if the numbers keep coming down like they were today, that'll happen here in Halton soon enough.
Last week, there were powerful solidarity marches in the city of Burlington and the town of Oakville, where thousands took to the streets. These marches were held in response to the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis and meant to show solidarity and support, as well as demonstrate a strong stance against racism and all forms of discrimination. Now, many may be wondering, what's next? I was able to connect with the director of the Caribbean Association of Halton today to ask that very question and what advice he can give to all who are actively pushing for change here in Canada.
Well, it is a problem. Again, in the United States, we have three basic groups. You have your white Americans, you have your Black Americans, and Hispanic Americans. There is some focus on South Asians and so on, but primarily they're working at trying to get three groups of Americans to work together and live harmoniously. Here in Canada, on our census, we have over 200 countries of origin. It's kind of mind-blowing, right? So what happens is, I think we're seeing in the United States, this has been going on, Jim Crow and slavery, and there's been a lot of serious systemic issues. Here in Canada, it's different. Our Black communities are very diverse themselves. So you have people from Nigeria, people from Jamaica, my family. You have people from Trinidad and all over the place, Muslims, Christians, right? So the actual Black community is quite diverse in and of itself. So you don't have one united bloc with a common cause and a common aspiration, collectively for our children and so on. So that way it's kind of hard. So I would advise the young people to, yes, support what's going on in the US. We can't tolerate this kind of brutality against anyone, particularly the incidences that we keep seeing against Black males in the US. I mean, it's clearly documented. But at the same time, I think the young people have to understand that what we are doing in Canada is we have to understand that racism is not just pointed at Black people, it's pointed at a wide variety of Canadians here. There's a lot of people that are being subjected to this. So what I would share with the young people is that, remember, Racism is about how you feel. Discrimination is how you act. And when we allow people to act out this discrimination against all different groups, LGBT, people with disabilities, it's just not just, right? And this is the whole core of social injustice. The people in the US are not standing for it, and our young people are saying, remember one of the people that you interviewed said, hey, all the other older people, if you're not gonna march with us, we're gonna go it alone, because this is our future, this is our country. And I'm just so proud to hear that. I'm so happy that we have, through your publication or through your media station, a platform to show the rest of Canada that Halton, not that we're bragging, but we're working hard behind the scenes. Everybody, our leaders, our mayors, our regional chair, everyone's really doing a concerted effort. I know because I have firsthand experience with this. We have to come together. We have to be a community. We have to strive for harmony. The young people get it. The leaders, I think, are the people that we have to be talking to. So whether it's corporate leaders, other organizations, not-for-profit, of course, our political leaders, I think most of the people in Halton, the key stakeholders, are getting it. And what we have to do is we have to support our young people, let them know that we're there for them, and we're looking forward to them to lead into the future.
Richard Pinnock also has a close connection with the Halton Regional Police that spans over 40 years and felt it was important to commend them on the fine work they've been doing here in our community.
Well, one thing that struck me on your newscast was no justice, no peace, no racist police. And that's true. We don't have racist police here in Halton. In fact, Halton has one of the lowest levels of hate crimes in all of Canada. We are the safest community to live for the last 5 years. Chief Tanner was outstanding. He sent a message of solidarity. He let the student organizers know, you don't have to worry about the police. The police will not be disturbing them. Didn't mention about you have to wear masks, you have to social distance. All he said is, we're here with you in solidarity with the organizers. We respect what you're doing. Go get them. So that's like an amazing, amazing demonstration of the kind of collaboration and leadership that we have with our police. And the same is true for all levels of leadership here in Halton. It's a lot that we have to be proud of.
If you'd like to review our coverage of the solidarity marches that he's referring to, you can watch Friday's newscast on our website at yourtv.tv. You can also find those news clips on our Facebook page at YourTV Halton. The LGBTQS plus community, as Pinnock mentioned, is also working towards social justice and fighting discrimination. Oakville-North Burlington MP Pam Damoff reminds us that it is Pride Month.
June is Pride Month. You know, it's a really important month to recognize the continuing struggles of the LGBTQ2 community, as well as celebrate the advancements that we've made. And certainly in Canada, we raised the Pride flag on Parliament Hill for the first time a couple of years ago. I know that Oakville and Burlington both did a virtual flag raising, but it's a lot more than just raising flags. It's getting to know the issues that continue to exist, and it's again educating ourselves about the LGBTQ2 community, making sure that we're listening to where there are gaps in our system, where there still is discrimination, because it does exist. And Pride Month is an opportunity to both celebrate and educate ourselves as we move forward hand in hand with the LGBTQ2 community.
The leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Andrew Scheer, is criticizing the government for not making certain relief programs more flexible for businesses. We spoke with Wellington-Halton Hills MP Michael Chong earlier this afternoon, who says many businesses across Halton are struggling because they don't qualify for some of the programs.
There are a number of changes that we have been asking for to help small businesses in Halton Region and in Halton Hills. For example, we've raised concerns with the wage subsidy and proposed changing the criteria so that businesses could demonstrate their 30% revenue loss using other metrics like loss of earnings or loss of subscription or some other measure. Because thousands of companies today, thousands of small businesses can't access the wage subsidy because of the barrier. In fact, the Department of Finance Canada has indicated that the uptake for the program has only been half of what the government expected. So that's one change we're asking the government to make. The other change is to get the government to change the criteria for the Canada Emergency Business Account so that small businesses who use a checking account rather than a bank business account can qualify for this emergency benefit. It's a simple fix that would have helped so many businesses, and it's something that we're calling on the government to do. And a third example of what we're asking the government to do is, over a month ago, we raised the issue of businesses who don't qualify for the emergency business account because they don't have regular payroll. They've either just got up and running and currently haven't put themselves on payroll and therefore don't qualify for the emergency account, or they're a small business and they don't pay themselves that way. So we've asked the government to change the criteria for that program to include small businesses, particularly family-run businesses where people aren't necessarily on payroll. I've heard from dozens, if not hundreds, of small businesses in the riding about these problems. Many of them have called me in the last several months to indicate their frustration with these programs. They see, some businesses being able to take advantage of it and others not. And so I've heard from many, many small businesses. I've been on Zoom chats with local chambers of commerce, with the Halton Hills Chamber of Commerce, where these concerns have been brought to my attention as well.
As the official start of summer is just around the corner, it's important to note that the municipality has canceled all of their summer programming in Halton Hills. We spoke with Mayor Burnett about this decision earlier and what it will mean for the town financially.
We had over 2,100 kids signed up for it. I know parents will be disappointed. We're going to get the refunds out as quick as possible. But when you have social distancing in a camp, no more than 5, and one's got to be a counselor, it's just not feasible. So staff are looking at trying to do a virtual summer camp. So that's a bit of bad news, and I think other municipalities are shutting their summer camps down too. We're just too soon to July to also try to pick everything up if things got better. And this is why the municipalities, and I can tell you that Regional Chair Carr and the 4 mayors signed a letter along with MP Pam Damoff and Adam Van Hooverden that went to the Prime Minister to ask for money, because we don't have a big transit system in Halton Hills. It's pretty well for disabled, seniors, and youth. But other municipalities that have full-blown public transit, they're taking a major hit right now. But also, everybody in any municipality is getting hit pretty hard on the recreation, because our soccer fields aren't being rented, our baseball diamonds aren't being rented, our swimming pools aren't being open. And then it's going to get a lot worse in the fall if the arenas aren't open. It's going to be a lot worse. So, safety is first and paramount. We get that, but we have to also explain, well, we're losing revenue as well.
Students have been promised a new name for Jean Vanier High School before their planned return in September, and today we're one step closer. More on the 2 potential new names for that school after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. Well, it's been narrowed down to 2 names. At their regular board meeting on June 2nd, the Halton Catholic District School Board voted on what they think the former Jean Vanier High School should be called. Melissa Candelaria reports.
The former Jean Vanier High School in Milton is closer to getting its new name. Milton Board Trustee with the Halton Catholic District School Board, Patrick Murphy, says they based their decision on feedback from a recent survey to stakeholders.
We received almost 3,400 or 3,435 responses to the 6 names that were put forward. And then from that, the board determined the naming committee determined the top 3 names, which we picked were St. Francis Xavier, Merciful Redeemer, and St. Kaitting. So those were presented to the Board of Trustees, and we voted on it and decided on the top pick, which was the top pick of most respondents. Over 3,400 respondents picked St. Francis Xavier. So we chose St. Francis Xavier as the primary choice, and as an alternate, we chose St. Kaitting, who is our Indigenous and female saint.
The names have been sent to the Bishop of the Diocese of Hamilton for review. However, if he can make a prediction, Murphy says St. Francis Xavier is likely the one that will be chosen.
It's a very strong name, a very well-known saint. He was focused on educating of young people. That was when he went to do his missionary work in India. Instead of trying to convert the Christians who already had established communities, he focused on educating of young people, and as a result, those communities are very strong participating Catholics to this very day. So the name did work well in respects to providing an opportunity to maintain and build on the JV way with a call towards education and service.
The final decision will be presented at the next board meeting on June 16th. Patrick says it's extremely important to get this done quickly.
We're in a unique time because graduation is coming up. It's a unique situation in that it doesn't happen very often. So there is discussion with the Minister of Education on what name goes on the certificate. Unfortunately, the students that are graduating now have not been able to participate and to build a frame of reference for St. Francis Xavier. So I'm not sure what the outcome will be of that discussion. It may be just a generic secondary school leaving, Ontario secondary school leaving. I'm not sure exactly. That's more of at the ministry level, how they'll have to make that decision.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
Environment Canada has issued a heat warning in the Halton region for tomorrow. A heat warning is declared when temperatures are forecast to be above 31 degrees Celsius. Many of the locations normally open and available for those who need to escape the heat, like libraries and community centers, are closed because of COVID-19. The region has issued a statement underlining the importance of checking in by phone or video call with vulnerable family and friends, especially seniors who are living on their own, to make sure they're safe and hydrated. Here's a view of the Burlington Canal and Lift Bridge as we take a closer look at what's to come this week. Full sun tomorrow, and it will feel like 38 degrees with the humidex. The UV index will be at its highest rating at 10. So if you are going to be outside, you're advised to keep out of the sun and in the shade as much as possible to protect that skin. Increasing cloudiness after midnight, and then we'll reach a high of 31 degrees again on Wednesday, but that will come with a 40% chance of showers. The risk increases to 60% by evening, and there's a chance of thunder showers Wednesday night. Cloudy with the chance of rain again on Thursday, and then the temperature will drop significantly. Friday's high will only reach 15 degrees, and we'll finally see some sunshine again by Saturday. Physical distancing won't stop the Burlington Chamber of Commerce from recognizing local businesses this year. They'll be celebrating the 2020 Business Excellence Awards Gala virtually on June 23rd, complete with a 3-course meal. Chamber President Carla Nell hosted MPP Jane McKenna to make the announcement.
So good morning. I'm Carla Nell, President and CEO of the Burlington Chamber of Commerce. And this morning I'm joined by our MPP Jane McKenna.
Hi, I'm very excited today, Carla. That's one thing about the Chamber of Commerce with you at the lead with your team, is that you always come up with such wonderful initiatives for the good people of Burlington.
Well, thank you, Jane. And we're really excited that you're going to be participating in our Reimagined Business Excellence Awards Gala on June the 23rd. We've been working very hard to adapt to a changing environment, and you're going to play a key role as a presenter of one of our Business Excellence Awards this year.
Listen, I'm absolutely ecstatic. This is a really great opportunity for Burlington's businesses, communities to come together to celebrate our outstanding businesses. Combined with a 3-course meal, that's unbelievable, provided by local Burlington restaurants, certainly is an innovative and exciting. We have wonderful restaurants in here in Burlington that we're trying to support, and I love that you've put all of this together for the people that have restaurants that have been struggling, and also for the good businesses that are getting these wonderful awards.
Yes, and we're very excited about celebrating in this way. And in addition to the lovely meal that people will receive, we've also created some lovely gift bags that are going to be featuring and showcasing products from our local business community.
Yeah, I've been going for many, many years to this event, and I always love the gift with the purchase. So I'm excited, Carla, to see what special things you and your team are putting together in these gift bags. You know, the whole thing is very exciting. And again, I'm very grateful for all that the Chamber does, and how wonderful to be able to continue on with this, for the businesses to be recognized in these trying times.
In our Market Watch. The Burlington Food Bank is preparing for phase 2 of the reopening of the economy. More on what that means after this. Thanks for staying with us here on Halton News. I'm Jessica Kaitting. As the government moves towards reopening and into phase 2, the Burlington Food Bank is also planning their next phase.
Hi, this is Robin Bailey, the Executive Director of the Burlington Food Bank. We just wanted to let people know that we're doing really, really well, and we've been able to serve the community really well. Anyone who needs assistance, we're here for you. Make sure that you're contacting us, either info@burlingtonfoodbank.ca or 905-637-2273. We're really able to help you out with non-perishables and perishables. If you only need perishables, let us know that as well. We're really able to sort of start turning things around a little bit right now. As the government talks about reopening, we're looking forward to going away from just straight delivery to maybe doing a bit of a hybrid. We're already into the plans of that, so that when things change, we're able to start making that appropriate adjustment. So we're looking forward to doing that. Also, we just wanted to thank the City of Burlington, the mayor, and all of the councillors that have helped us out in so many ways, whether it be helping out with food drives or with the task force and all the variety of things that have happened here, as well as our MP and our MPPs that have really stepped up through all of these things. It's been amazing to see the City of Burlington come together and help us support those around us who are in a little bit of need. Again, if you need assistance, we're here to help. Make sure that you're contacting us.
Thanks for watching. We'll be live again tomorrow night at 5:30 for Halton News. I'm Jessica Kaitting.